I'm bisexual, but I'm not confused.
I'm bisexual, but I'm not just experimenting.
I'm bisexual, but I'm not easy.
But I am not greedy.
And I'm not selfish.
But I'm not more likely to cheat on you.
But I'm not afraid of commitment.
I'm bisexual, but I'm not half gay or half straight. I'm a complete whole person.
So what is bi-erasure? Bi-erasure is defined as a problem where the existence or legitimacy of bisexuality is questioned or denied outright. In a mobile-first society where more than half the world's total population is on social media, we want to find out how social media has impacted the bisexual identity in terms of identity development and empowerment as a community. For our research, we conducted 17 in-depth interviews with individuals from the LGBTQ+ community. Here's what we found. Social media has played a big part in helping bi people understand their sexuality. Anonymity on mobile was a common theme brought up by our bi respondents. They could watch coming out videos on YouTube in a safe space, scroll through Reddit for information and support, surf Tumblr and repost stories about bisexuality. The affordance of anonymity on mobile phones has helped bi individuals explore their sexuality with no judgment or stigma. Majority of respondents who identified themselves as gay or lesbian felt that the bisexual community is indeed empowered through social media. However, respondents who identified themselves as bisexual felt that empowerment is limited, and that sometimes online empowerment does not translate to the offline world. Social media empowers us, but it is not the source of empowerment. The real source comes from the actual, concrete actions such as policy changes regarding LGBTQ+ rights and greater media representation. As such, there is a clear difference between online versus community empowerment. Our interviews also revealed that bi individuals who are more active in the online community seem to be more withdrawn from the mainstream community. All my friends are queer. I don't have a single friend who isn't. I feel safer. Some even resorted to blocking family members on social media. This can be seen as a conscious form of withdrawal from the mainstream society, or rather, a case of ghettoization. What's unique about our findings is that the boundary setting is set by the minority instead of the oppressive majority. It can be said that the empowerment that bi individuals receive online are causing them to be more invisible than before. How are bisexual individuals perceived within the LGBTQ+ community then? Most gay and lesbian respondents felt that there were no differing perceptions worth mentioning. That though bi-erasure exists, they don't feel the need to do anything about it. On the flip side, most bi respondents felt that their identity was invalidated within the LGBTQ+ community. Several individuals cited how they wouldn't be seen as individuals who are part of the LGBTQ+ community once they were in a relationship with someone of the opposite gender. We found that these biphobic views do extend to the online sphere, but are experienced differently for bi individuals based on their level of activity in the online LGBTQ+ community. For those who aren't active in online communities, such views are limited to hearsay and face-to-face comments. However, those who are active on the online communities feel much more exposed to these views, specifically on Twitter. Some respondents talked about how Twitter's the worst and that people direct reply too easily there. In fact, Twitter has introduced a feature where you can only allow people you mention or follow to reply and interact with you. This function can be set to filter out negative comments, but can also be set to create an echo chamber. This is in contrast to aforementioned platforms like YouTube, Reddit, and Tumblr. It is clear that social media platforms and mobile communication technology are not monolithic in utility and function. Hence, there is a need to differentiate them accordingly. When we asked our bi respondents if they have experienced some form of bi-erasure online, most of them highlighted that bi-erasure occurs more frequently via face-to-face comments. 3 of our bi respondents also brought up the potential form of erasure within the LGBTQ+ community, where lesbian and gay partners would typically be more distrusting of bi individuals. They're afraid they'll turn straight and realize that they like the opposite gender again. We also found that when it came to the treatment of bi individuals, bi women are more affected by fetishization. Most female bi respondents have reported requests for threesomes via social media direct messages, further perpetuating one of the top misconceptions of the bi community. Bi men highlighted more issues of discrimination and biphobia based on toxic masculinity. Thus, they are less likely to come out as bisexual compared to bi women. In conclusion, social media is ultimately a double-edged sword for the bisexual community. It can serve as a valuable tool for them to properly explore their sexuality, which can be enhanced by affordances such as anonymity. However, social media can also be a huge source of toxicity for the community. The same affordances that empower the bisexual community may also be the factors that emboldens bigotry, may even close off bisexual individuals and isolate them further from mainstream society. Because of the gap between online and offline community engagements, the best form of empowerment for the bisexual community would likely stem from concrete actions and policy changes.